Welcome to the John Trading channel. In this video, I'm going to give you my price prediction for Dogecoin in 2023. Can Dogecoin make over a 2,000% profit gain in this market in 2023? Well, stay tuned and watch the entire video as I'll show you all of my profit targets and how they get there. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed for future videos, and leave a comment if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos. I'm going to first begin by using the weekly chart on Dogecoin and actually scrolling into this part of the chart, which was in the last bull run of 2021. In the last bull run for Dogecoin, it went up over 50,000% in less than 1 year when we had that last bull run in 2021. When I first begin analyzing price, I like to use the Fibonacci retracement tool, and I bring this tool all the way to the top and bring it to the current low on Dogecoin, which is at that 5-cent range. You can see we now get the 0.382, the 0.5, and the 618 level populating on the chart. These levels are going to help us find some potential resistance zones that when price reaches these areas, we might have at least a small retracement, or that could be our full profit target for Dogecoin. On this chart, the slope of this orange line, which is known as the 20 exponential moving average, actually tells us which way the price is going to go and has a higher probability to do so. So you can see through this area, we were sideways, but then we began to tick to the downside. And look, every single time price came up to this area, we actually used it as a resistance zone to then continue on the downwards trend. But if you're looking at the current price, you can see that we have begun to go sideways. We're not quite down and we're not quite up. So what I'm waiting for is a nice uptick on the exponential moving average to then signal to us that high probability move would be to the upside. Since we're getting this sideways action, what's happening now is price is coiling and basically getting ready to explode. And I expect that explosion to be to the upside. Looking at the chart on this area here, you can see that we had quite a strong support zone in this area, although it wasn't exactly perfect. Every time price came down into this area, we were actually getting supporting shots to the upside. And what happened? Once we did get a bit of a break below this area, we tried to come back, retest this area of support, then flips to a resistance level, and then we got a really solid break to the downside. And look what price has done on the recent. We did come up to this area and look exactly how this lines up. We initially broke through this support level through here. We then break through, we then retest it as a resistance level. Once support gets broken through to the downside, it's then going to act as a resistance level in the market. As if price comes up to this level, I am expecting at least a small amount of resistance to the downside before we then rocket up and look for our second target on Dogecoin. The reason I don't think this is going to act as a major resistance level is we've already tested this level once. We've already tested this level for a second time, potentially even a third time. And if we do come up for this fourth time, it's basically like saying when you're knocking at a door, the more you knock, if you only knock just once, you're not very likely for someone to come and open the door for you. But when you're knocking 3, 4, and 5 times over and over again, you're more likely for that door to open, and then you're easily going to pass through. So you can think of it like that. We really had this strong support level, got a really strong break below this support level. We're now coming back up to retest this support, which now flips to a resistance level. Once you get that big break below a support level, it is going to flip as a resistance level. And this is going to actually be my first target right here for Dogecoin in 2023. I do believe that price is easily going to come up to this level. As you can see from our current price, dragging it up, that's around a 70-75% gain profit potential on this particular trade, which would really be solid if you were to take this trade and use a stop loss just below this area, somewhere like a 5% and potentially even a 10%, depending on how you structure this trade. Bring it up to here, you can see that even using a 10% stop loss, but having a 70% gain potential gives you a 7-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And if you're using a win rate strategy of somewhere even like 30%, let's say that this only has a 30% chance of happening, although I do believe it has a higher percentage. If you plug that into your trader's equation using the risk to reward, the win rate strategy, you actually find that you have a positive trader's equation. Even at a 20% win rate level, this would still be a profitable trade. So I'm giving it the absolute worst case scenario possible, but I do think this is at least a 60-70% chance of happening. So this is going to be my first target for Dogecoin in 2023, as I do believe we will have at least a small amount of resistance when we reach this price for the fourth time. Now, to find my second target for Dogecoin, I'm actually going to scroll into this level on the daily chart at this 382 level. I can see that we do have a support and resistance flip on this level where we try to break down, came back, retested multiple times before we continued then to the downside. Plus, we also have a confluence level of this 382 of the Fibonacci zone So we're going to have multiple different trading strategies, all looking to do the same action in this area. So let me scroll into the daily chart. Now that I've scrolled into the daily chart, I'm really going to be focusing on this area here. You can see how it lines up with the 0.382 level on the Fibonacci. Every time we came to this level, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times, this was a really strong support level to the upside. Price was coming into these areas thinking that we weren't going to break. A lot of people were actually expecting to then break above the all-time high for Dogecoin at this 75-cent level, but you can see what happened. Once we got this breakthrough, we had a really strong retracement to the downside, and look at where price came back and retested. We retested this level. It actually acted as a resistance level, because once this really strong support level gets broken through, it's then going to act as a resistance level. So not only did we have resistance in this area, but look, we came back, made an even lower low, then we came back up and retested this area for another time. We came back. This support level then flipped to a resistance, acted as a strong resistance in this area. Look what happened for the next time. We came back up into this area using the 382, but also perfectly using this support and resistance flip level. So you can see that how these support and resistance flips really hold up in the market, and they're an extremely profitable trading strategy when you really understand how they work. You might say, oh, this is really simple and easy to actually implement. It truly is, but that's how trading should be. You need to have a really solid risk to reward ratio, then using it with a solid win rate on your particular strategy, and then structure your trade to really come out in profit if you were to take that exact trade hundreds of times. Doesn't matter what happens on this particular trade, it matters on every single trade that you're taking over a sample of 100, because as you would know, even on a 50-50 trade, something like flipping heads and tails, that's a 50-50 trade, because 50% of the time it's going to be heads, the other 50 is going to be tails. But you would actually see you can easily have streaks of 8 wins or 8 losses in a row. You can easily have 8 tails in a row. But John, you told me it's a 50-50 win rate. Of course it is, but you need to be able to withstand these long losses, because they do happen. Even on a 50-50 strategy, you can easily get losing streaks of 8 just as much as you can get winning streaks of 8. You need to be able to account for this, and that's why I'm always teaching that risk to reward ratio, plus only risking maximum of 2 to 3% on every single trade, so you can actually withstand a group of losses that then you can easily make up with just a couple of trades. The reason that this level is so perfect as well is not only that it hits the Fibonacci level, it also hits that support and resistance level, but there are actually a lot of traders in this area, because we did have a really strong push to the upside, and people were expecting to actually come above this all-time high here for Dogecoin. So when people have been buying in the market up here at this 34-cent range, and we're currently at that 7-cent range for Dogecoin, when price finally comes back into their area, then they're going to be trying to get out of their trades. And how do you get out of a buy once you've bought in the market? Well, you need to be looking to sell. So you're going to have traders using this 382 level. You're also going to be having traders using this support and resistance flip. And you're going to have a third set of traders who are trying to get out of their old trades. So you're going to have a triple momentum play to the same move, looking to short in this market. Again, I don't expect this to act as a major resistance level, but we definitely will have some selling once we come up to this 30-cent range, because we've got multiple different strategies having a confluence zone saying this is a decent opportunity to sell in the market, and you're going to see at least a small amount of downtick in the market once we reach back at this 30-cent level. Now that I've scrolled out back onto the weekly time frame, you can see that how this level has held up. We've got a really strong break to the downside, came back, retested this initial support level as resistance, retested this initial level as resistance, and then we had a major downturn in the market, basically going down 95%. So this is going to be my second target for Dogecoin in 2023. And from our current price, if we actually bring up our target, we can see that that's over 330% profit potential on this particular trade. Now, this is definitely a trade that I'm going to be looking to take. You can see that in these areas, we're beginning to make double bottoms, triple bottoms, and what I'm waiting for is a break above this exponential moving average to then confirm that I need to be looking at getting into trades in this level. So not only are we going to come up to this target 1, but I'm really going to be looking at target 2 as my main profit factor for Dogecoin in 2023. I've also got a third target, which I will be holding at least a portion of my position so we can actually go to the moon and reach this third target. So let me now show you in the market what my third target is going to be. To find my third target, I use the trend-based Fibonacci extension and I bring it down to this low that happened in 2020 and I bring it all up to the all-time high, which was at this 72-cent range. And then I drag it to this low right here, which was the low of this last current bear market. And you can see how we actually getting from price populates. We can see how this 38.2% level also correlates with our target 2. And the main level that I'm looking at is a 0618 to 175 level, which is known as the golden zone for the Fibonacci trend-based extension. And you can see that this is currently hitting at this $1.30 mark for Dogecoin. So if we have a look at our current price, which we're at about that 7-cent range, and actually drag it up to our target, that's over 1600% profit potential on this particular trade for Dogecoin. This is going to be my third and final profit target for Dogecoin in 2023. Now, this price up here, reaching that 1500%, it might take a little bit longer than 2023. The reason being is we're already halfway through the year and we're going to need time to actually reach that level. So it might not just happen overnight. We might need at least a couple of months, because if you think about it, once price comes into these levels, we're going to have at least a small retracement. Then we're going to rocket up to target 2, have at least a small retracement before then looking to actually make it up to target 3. And we need a bit of time to actually do all of these moves. It's not just going to go from this 7 cent and go directly rocket up straight up to this $1.70. I've never seen price ever do that on these proper coins, especially with Dogecoin. It's got a massive market cap. It means you're going to need a lot of money to actually pump into the crypto market at this current point. So this is going to be my target. Target 3, roughly 1600% away. And if we use that stop loss of around that 10%, you can see that that's 160 risk to reward on this particular trade. Absolutely astonishing. But again, what I am looking for to actually get confirmation in the market is you can see that we're making these lows. We're actually basically making double bottom after double bottom after double bottom. I need to actually see that this EMA begins to tick to the upside. You can see all in this area, we've been slightly up, slightly down. And what that actually means is we're in a trading range. So what a lot of people have been doing is they've been buying low in the trading range and then also selling high. The goal of a trading range is to buy low, sell high, and scalp. They are the 3 rules of a trading range: buying low, selling high, and scalping. And that's exactly what's been happening. The reason being is the exponential moving average has not been bearish or bullish like in this zone here. Once we have this really downward sloping EMA, it tells us that we have high probabilities of continuing to the downside in this particular market. But since we've been sideways, it actually signifies to us that we're in this trading range, buying low, selling high, and scalping. But what I need to actually see is this EMA to begin to trend up, and I also need price to come above the EMA into this area here, because that's going to then signify to us that bullish momentum is coming into the market, and a high probability trade would be to buy Dogecoin and then hold it for the near future. So I'm really looking for this confirmation before I actually enter into my trade. I haven't got that confirmation yet. I would prefer to see that confirmation and buy at slightly higher prices. Reason being is if I do buy now, I do still run the risk of being stopped out on my trade, because that would be the level that I'm putting my stop at. But if I wait for this confirmation, it means that my probability on the trade is increasing, and I would prefer to have a high probability trade and just take a slight increase in the price target. So that's my third and final price target for Dogecoin in 2023. This first initial target is roughly 70 to 75% away, which is going to be a fantastic trade, especially using the right risk to reward strategy. Then my target 2 is looking at around that 300 to 350% in the market. Then looking at target 3, which is roughly 1600% away, breaking above this all-time high for Dogecoin. There are my 3 targets in the market. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos. That's all I have for you for today's video. I really hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.